Hello everybody, I was not expecting to do a part 3 of my 36th birthday, but I had a great weekend of makeup dates and I decided it was video worthy. So, I went to Toronto both yesterday and today. That's May 4th and May 5th, 2019, for those of you who are watching at some point in the not too distant or distant future. Um, on both days, I head down to Union Station via the GO bus. Now, on the first day, despite giving myself 2.5 hours to get to my destination, I'm paranoid regarding Toronto traffic, especially the Gardiner. Um, it was congested, as it always is on Saturday uh, early afternoon, but the bus was still moving at all times, so I guess I lucked out. I used the time to call my attorneys. Updating my will over the phone is just weird, but it also freed up a lot of time over the next 2 days. I get to Union Station about 12:20 in the afternoon, so I very slowly walk to a place called Escape Manor. It's on the corner of King and Spadina, primarily because Google Maps says train in 12 minutes. Oh, sorry, subway and streetcar in 12 minutes, or I walk in 16. So I just decided to hoof it and save myself the subway fare. Um, I get to King and Spadina at 12:40, despite not really walking all that fast at all. I decide to try Belly Buster Subs, which is 2 buildings down. It's not the best sub I've ever had. I ordered a Philly steak, but still a lot better than the Subway. I finally enter Escape Manor at 1:20 p.m., primarily so I can acclimate myself with the place. So the main floor resembles a high-end social club, fireplace, luxury chairs, a bar where the bartenders seemingly adhere to a dress code. But as a juxtaposition to that, there's a bunch of games scattered about the place, namely Cards Against Humanity, Jenga, What Do You Meme, and a retro gaming console. I saw Donkey Kong being played on it once. So at 20 minutes to 2, Allison Court, her fiance Zach, and her son Blade arrive. Uh, they couldn't come to my birthday party proper because there was no way they were going to be able to make it on time to the Sunday day, and I think Saturday was right out the door, despite the fact that our mutual friend of whom where we had met last year, um, he was basically, as I said in the previous videos, just there for the escape room and then bailed as fast as he could. I had already checked in by this point, signing the waiver, becoming aware of what was going on. All of us put our coats in some very nice cupboards and head into their asylum room. Their asylum room was, it looked like a medical room that had gone insanely wrong. There was light that could examine X-rays. Um, I will say this much about Escape Manor: a lot of Toronto rooms feel extremely cramped because space is kind of at a premium. Uh, I did not feel cramped in here once. Then again, there were only 4 of us. Um, and the utilization of space is so awesome that there were secret rooms, which I haven't really experienced in Toronto rooms because, again, space is at a premium. There was letter locks, number locks. Uh, the puzzles were very varied. Um, it was a solid 8-person maximum room, and one of the better ones I've ever done, actually. In fact, I would actually put them somewhere equal to Perplexity, but just a hair under Survive the Night. Uh, One thing of note is that they don't do group photos. I guess they kind of didn't in Survive the Night, in the sense that I had to sort of trigger the girl behind the desk to just use my phone or my camera to take all the team photos. So that was something that was just a little unusual. So next up is axe throwing, and I had never done axe throwing before. A few of my friends had and said that I have to do it. Axe throwing is pretty self-explanatory. You throw an axe and you hit for the purposes of hitting a target. There was one guy whose name eludes me who was starting to go over the basics, but then another coach became available, and that's who we had for the rest of the time. We were there. I forgot his name, but he was a wonderful guy from Perth, Australia. Amazing. So, if Escape Manor, if you are watching this video, please tell that guy that I give particular kudos to him. Axe throwing, I can see why people liked it. It was extremely cathartic from a stress point of view. There's multiple styles and size of axes. I seemingly gravitated towards two-handed short axe because I was making 3 and 5 point shots like nobody's business. There was we played a couple of games within the context of axe throwing. The first was pretty straightforward. First to 21 wins, outside circle a point, middle circle 3 points, bullseye 5. The two little green dots that are way up above the bullseye is 7. I decided to go in with a strategy of no heroics, keep my point making simple, and it seemed to work because Allison and I beat Blade and Zach 21-10. Something I learned about Allison yesterday is that she's left-handed. Then we played a game called 1-3-5 where you had to hit the one axe in the 1 point circle, one axe in the 3 point circle, in any one you want, but if you get a second shot of that, it automatically erases, and you need both of them to go for the 5 point. I think I did it consecutively. It wasn't over consecutive throws. Admittedly, my footwork needs work. I'm a bit overzealous in my stepping when I throw. But because I was getting them in chronological order, the aforementioned Australian coach actually nicknames me the Dagger. We ended up winning that. There was a fastest to get a certain number of points thing. It was a great usage of time, I will say that much. And there was TVs behind us where we could watch various sporting. In fact, the Twins-Yankees game was on, and the general consensus was screw the Yankees. And I saw some ping pong off to the side, but I didn't really go all that far into it. They take extremely good care of their place from a cleanliness point of view. We go back downstairs. There's about a half hour's gap between axe throwing in our second room, so we basically just used it to chat. Well, no, more accurately, Zach, Allison, and I did. Blade went straight to the retro gaming console. He's actually quite a Frogger player, despite the fact that it's not even close to his generation of gaming. Then we do Escape the Wine Cellar as our second room, and I have to give props to these guys for making a wine cellar themed escape room actually work. Secret rooms, you had to put bottles in barrels to unlock things. There was, again, a good variety of types of locks. The puzzles were insane. The geography one really screwed us up towards the end. You had to turn valves to pipes in order to get clues. In both rooms, it's standard CB-based request hint. Although for these ones, you don't even get the CB at the very beginning. But if you don't get it in 25 minutes, the staff are literally going to walk in and walk you through the entire puzzle that's needed to get it. This room we were actually paired with 4 strangers that we had never met before, and they were great, but they seemed to defer to us a bit much, maybe because they haven't done as many escape rooms or the like. Then we were done that. Allison, Blade, and Zach walk me all the way to Union Station. I was so touched by that gesture. I was able to hold back the tears until I got on the bus, but 10 seconds after we waved goodbye, I was waterworks. that was insane. Like, Allison was even like the mindful and protective big sister. Like, let me know when you get home. Like, no problem, Allie. I went on the Bramalea Go Bus, not the Brampton Go Bus, so it dropped me off at the opposite side of town. Actually, not all that far from my childhood home, so I took advantage and used Brampton Transit to go to Firehouse Subs. I had the Smokehouse Barbecue Brisket with cherry limeade, then I went home. So, on to earlier today, May 5th, 2019. I'm not going to go over the journey to Toronto because it was pretty much exactly the same as my trip the previous day. This time I do take the subway because I would be on it for more than one stop to Dundas Square. Then I walk to Salad King, aka Aaron First headquarters, my favorite restaurant in the whole wide world. I get there. Kelly, the assistant manager, is actually in the elevator that I'm taking to get to the second floor because it's a second floor restaurant. She had gone on a Starbucks run for her staff. She goes and drops off all of her coffee, all the coffees except the one she ordered for herself. Comes and sits with me at table 1. It was one of the metal tables, not a booth. I don't really care because the group is just 2 people. I like booths when it's like 4. Anything smaller or larger, I actually like the metal tables more. Spring rolls were at my table 12 and a half seconds after I sat down. I didn't even order. They just went, boom, here you go. And I was like, you guys know me so well. Thank you so much. I had my usual Thai Islamic noodles with shrimp and 5 chilies. It's basically Penang curry on top of noodles, and it is so amazing. Great vegetable selection. 5 chilies is about as spicy as I go. One time I had 10, and I only had it just to say I had it. I don't know why. 15 at that point, I think, would cancel the flavor out entirely. And Kelly made an interesting point today about the size of dish being a factor. Like, people getting like the soups that where the bowl's like this big and they go 20 chilies. It's like it's basically just pure chili peppers at that point. She and Alan are the nicest managers I've ever known. Trista actually was the waitress who delivered my noodles to me and said hello. And given who I saw the day before, I found it quite appropriate. I got coconut ice cream for dessert, and they've changed the cookies again. Now it's a sort of Italian ladyfinger. It's a fine cookie. It's a lot different from the sesame cookies that I remember. I said my goodbyes to Kelly because business was picking up and she needed to join the kitchen, which is fine. I did a photo with her. She bills, which I get. I used the path to get back down to Union Station. Well, no, more accurately, I tried to see Avengers in 4DX and they were already sold out, and I just decided I'm not waiting 40 minutes for a regular screening. Then I tried to path it, get lost because of all the path renovations they've done in the last year, but eventually figured out my bearings enough that I was able to walk all the way in an underground tunnel shopping system center to Union Station. I then head for the Go Bus terminal, take the Georgetown bus because it drops me off within 6 blocks of my house. Grocery shopped, came home, and had a nap, which is why I didn't film this several hours ago after I'd written the script. But anyways, that is part 3, and I promise this time definitively the last part of my 36th birthday. So until next time, I'm Aaron, and unlike Storage Wars, my show's scripted. Thanks a lot.